Hey, Sister Joy here. I want to share a story from the African American spiritual called Old Freedom with you today. This song was sung during the 50s and the 60s at the height of the civil rights movement, but actually its roots sink much, much deeper than that. The song and the legend behind it originated in a place called St. Simon's Island, which is just off the coast of Georgia. On this island, there's a body of water they call Dunbar's Creek, and it was at Dunbar's Creek that very tragic event took place during the days of slavery. It was during the early 1800s that 75 African men from the Ibo Tribe were captured and forced to leave their native land and board a slave ship that was bound for the coast of Georgia, where they were to be handed over to two cotton plantation owners as slaves. When the slave ship finally arrived and was nearing the bluffs of Dunbar's Creek, the overseer opened the portals, and those 75 men rose in revolt. They fought their way off of the ship and onto the land, and then they hid down in the marshes of Dunbar's Creek. Right here is where the legend takes a twist and a turn, because there are two different versions of what happened next. There's the old and there's a new. The newest version comes from researchers who have documented the history of this story, and they say that those 75 men were all captured except for 10 or 12 of them who were hiding out in the marshes, and that these 10 or 12 all drowned because there was a big storm and a tide came in, a very powerful tide that was unexpected, and they all died. The older version of this story that has been handed down from one generation to another and written about in books tells us that these 12 Ibo men decided that they'd rather die than be a slave. They say that they said, "The water has brought us here and the water shall take us away." And so, chained together, they backed up into Dunbar's Creek, singing an old song from their native language, in their native language, until they sank beneath the waves and were seen no more. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Today, people come from all over the world to visit Dunbar's Creek. They say that at midnight, the creek is calm. You can hear the rattling of chains and the voices and cries and moans of those African men who drown. Even the islanders there will not fish in Dunbar's Creek because they say it is haunted. In 2003, the St. Simon African American Heritage Coalition held a 2-day remembrance for the history of their island. And part of that celebration and remembrance included a religious ceremony commemorating Dunbar Creek as holy ground to help bring peace to those restless souls. People came from all over the United States and all over the world for that religious ceremony. And one of them was a man from Nigeria, from the Ibo Tribe. He said, for 199 years, these men's spirits have not been able to rest because they were never given a proper burial. I have come today to evoke their spirits and to take them back to Ibo land, where they may find their peace. No more weeping, no more wailing, no more weeping, no more wailing over me. And before I'll be slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.